Open meeting. Currently on the board, sitting on the board tonight is Selectman Mark Griffin and Selectman Dwayne Gilman. Selectman Jeff Miller is absent today. Department heads present: Town Administrator Brenda Pearl, Police Chief Dana Flanders, Fire Chief Tom Blanchett. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business will be the consent agenda. Open for a motion.
I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
And I will second that motion. Motion made by Selectman Griffin, seconded by Selectman Gilman. Any discussion? Nothing? Me either. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Next, we get to hear from Nick Jelinas. How are you?
Good, I got some photos.
Awesome.
For you guys.
Good job.
Take a look.
Any glasses?
Thank you for having me here tonight. Again, my name is Nick Jelinas, a part of Troop 247 here in Loudon. Last year, I came to talk with the Selectmen. It was only Selectman Miller at the time, to go over what my project was going to be and to get it approved since it was on town property. So it got approved, and I'm here tonight to share that I've officially completed my Eagle project. So since you two were not Selectmen yet, I'll kind of go over what my project was. It's a fishing area adjacent to the town beach. It features a kiosk, an informational kiosk, a bench, 3 PVC rod holders, and a PVC line collection station, so that any excess line people can put in there. The project went very well. Luckily, we had a lot of donors: Loudon Building Supply, Leonard's Plumbing and Heating, K&M Drywall. I was able to use community partners like them to get the wood, the PVC, any excess money that I needed for the project. The town has received it very well. I posted it on the Loudon community page sharing that I finished it. I was met with over 400 likes and over 100 comments. Everyone said that they loved it, most everyone. But mostly, I just wanted to come here to thank the town, especially Russ, who's not here tonight, but I got his signature yesterday to finish off the project. He was a big help in making sure that the area was prepped, ready to go, and kind of helping me with the project. And then, of course, the Selectmen for approving this project and helping it get done, as well as all the other community partners. So if you guys have any questions, there's some photos. There's more on Facebook you can go check out on the community page. But if you have any questions, you can ask them now.
Only question I have: why did you pick this specific project?
So I love fishing. We have a boat, so we go up to Winnipesaukee all the time. Recently just went up to the Connecticut River, caught my first ever fly fish, so it was pretty fun. But I saw it as a need that the town really needed a nice spot. Of course, we have fishing spots along the river, but it can get kind of congested down over the bridge, so it can be kind of a safety concern. And Clough Pond is a great resource for the town. And the boat launch is kind of a tough spot to fish because you have people going in and out. Right next to that was a spot, but due to fishermen like leaving stuff or leaving trash and stuff, they closed that off. So I saw the adjacent to the beach as a perfect spot. It's out of the fishing, out of the swimming area, excuse me. So no hooks will get in the way. Russ did put up signs, so that's really great, so people know where the fishing area is. But I just saw it as a need that the town folk would use. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Very good. Looks good. Good work.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no, I definitely I applaud all your effort. I applaud the way you present yourself. You've kept us informed of the whole thing through stages. You did a fantastic job, and I wish you success in the future with whatever you do. You're gonna be okay. Great job. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna head over to department head updates. I'll start with Brenda Pearl.
Just two quick things that I didn't get on the agenda. July 14th, the Ricker Road Bridge will be closed down for approximately 3 weeks to get replaced. And just a heads up that at our next meeting on July 15th, we will have a representative from Community Power in attendance to discuss the rates. I think a lot of people have seen articles about that and rate increases and things, so they have, they are planning to be here to chat about that.
When's that again?
July 15th. And that's all I have.
You have anything?
I'm good.
I have a couple things. One was that when we doing the community power thing, but the other thing was it came back to fruition again, reference to, have we ever solved the problem with earn time being on the checks for payroll?
No,
Is that a doable process? I thought it was.
not with the software that we have. We could put it on there, but it would be inaccurate just as soon as we posted the payroll that day.
Oh.
There's no way to catch it without accruing it, so we need accruing it every day that we post checks. And it's not a simple process. We're working with software people, but it's not looking positive.
What do other people use for software?
And there's many choices out there, BSMI, a bunch of different ones.
Which one do we use?
We use ProFund through Tyler Tech.
Okay. I'm surprised it's not available, Tyler. They do a lot of other softwares,
They do.
you
Do a lot of schools,
know,
especially.
Department of Corrections, the sheriffs, I know they use all Tyler products, so, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief Flanders.
Good evening. All of our equipment is in good working order. I brought in tonight the speed summary from Hollow Root Road. The average speed of the cars coming up on the sign was 14.51 miles an hour. That was for northbound traffic. I'm going to do another study on southbound traffic. We wanted to give the sign a solid week to work on northbound first. The average was about 348 cars daily that was on Hollow Root Road. I want to take a second and talk about a sentencing hearing. I attended last Friday as the lead investigator on the case, and to give you some idea of how long the case took to actually come to fruition, I started as a sergeant. By the time I testified, I was the chief of police. And it was an aggravated felonious sexual assault case with the investigation took me as far as Salem for follow-ups, and last Friday was a sentencing hearing after a guilty verdict by a jury, and the individual, Austin Liberty, was sentenced to 35 years to New Hampshire State Prison. There's a condition as part of his sentence, you can get 5 years off, so we got a sentence of at least 30 years staying committed on a case in town. I thought that was a big deal I want to talk about. I'm certainly not doing it just to tell my own horn as an investigator. I really give the credit to the victim who was strong enough to come forward and resilient enough to come and testify and go through everything they had to go through for this case to come to fruition. But I just wanted to share that with the board because I thought that was a good moment for the department.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. I've got some stats for you from Bike Week. I just focused on the demo rides tonight. During Bike Week, we really stepped up patrols, 106 School Street, Loudon and Lower Ridge Road. We had 58 documented stops that were just from the demo rides, and that's with at least 2 days with zero activity on the route due to rain. Of those 58 documented stops, we issued 14 citations, so about 1 out of every 4 bikes got a ticket. And the speeds ranged, I think the highest we had was 77 and 83, and those obviously got cited. But those are the hard stats from the week. Those, I went through the logs, and that is all confirmed motorcycles. Now, I mean, Granted, there are times where I jump out of my cruiser and yell at somebody and I didn't pull a call for it, so like there are those stops too for anybody that was maybe lower than the threshold would be for a citation. But we have at least 58 documented with 14 citations, strictly demo bikes. I just wanted to bring that before you guys tonight. The month of June has been incredibly busy for us. Seems like one thing after another. We're very busy department for the month of June. And now that we're in the summer season, I don't see that slowing down at all with the increase to tourists coming to our beautiful state and all around. That is all I have for the board tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have for me.
Just back, because we had, an old business, we had Hollow Road, Mudgett Hill Road. 14.51 miles per hour average speed. How many cars again?
348 a day, the total for the week, and this was from June 24th through June 30th. The total for the week is 2,438 cars. And that's only northbound traffic. I need, still need to get southbound. I would imagine the southbound traffic may move a little faster than northbound. It was right at the end of Storage Drive where the sign was located. So we're just gonna find a good spot to catch it coming south.
Okay. And that's going back out again?
Yes.
Okay.
May not be Hollow Root Road right away, but I will get it out there and get you another report on the other end as well.
All right. Okay. Anything?
I am good, thank you.
Chief Blanchett?
Good evening. First off, I want to thank the Huntington family again for bringing flowers and planting them down around the safety complex this year again. Helps make the place look good, so we do appreciate that. All the apparatus is working and everything's good this week. So all the staff is good and healthy. We've been pretty busy with some pretty serious stuff, but everybody's good mentally and physically. Today, we obtained a water sample from the Clough Pond Beach and dropped that off at Eastern Analytical. And then I know the beach has been very busy with the heat that we've been having. A member of the Clough Pond Beach Association came down to the office today to talk to us about cyanobacteria. Remember a few weeks back, we did have the start of a bloom down at the outlet, and there was a concern as to why we didn't post the cyanobacteria bloom advisory or warning signs at that time. And this year, the state has gone to a 3-tier program where there's basically a observation of a bloom, and then they go to an advisory, then they go to a warning. And because of the conditions on that day, they felt that it was going to dissipate rather quickly, so it was, you know, it was notification purposes that there was a bloom. It did clear up relatively quick. The testing that they did that day is publicly available, saying that there was in fact cyanobacteria at the outlet, but you know, with wind, rain, boat traffic, you know, it cleared itself up. The next day it wasn't even visible. So we do watch that on a regular basis. There's members of the Clough Pond Association that will contact me the second they see something like that. We do have the state from Department of Health and Human Services, their beach program comes down and tests the beach 3 times every summer. Then we monitor it based on weather conditions and usage. So we'll have some more results later this week, see if anything's there. But so far the beach has been fine, the water's been fine, and it's been a good summer for Clough Pond. We can all probably certainly remember summers when we had lots of issues, but that hasn't been the case this year so far. We were notified this afternoon about a 2-day session that New Hampshire Homeland Security and Emergency Management's putting on, because we are in the ingestion area for the Seabrook nuclear power plant. We're within the 50-mile radius of the plant, so therefore if there was an incident at the plant, we would be part of the response plan for that. There's a workshop coming up in September 24th and September 25th. They've asked us to include 2 decision makers from the community in that workshop. So we'll need to get a decision from the board on who you would like to attend that. In the past, I have as the emergency management director and the fire chief, but if other people want to go at your direction or should go at your direction, I'll leave that up to you. But it shouldn't be just me that goes, somebody else that is going to be in a decision-making capacity should come along. The class will be held at the National Guard Reserve Training Center in Pembroke, and it's an all-day 8:30 to 3:30 session, and we can go one day or the other. So I don't know if a member of the board would like to go, or if you'd like to designate another department head, but I'll need an answer on that relatively soon to be able to respond back.
All right.
Also, NASCAR race planning season has begun. Myself and the chief have attended one meeting already. We're doing smaller breakout groups this year. We did that last year for the first time. I think it worked out very well for both of us. It allowed both of us to attend those meetings, so we both had input on behalf of the town on what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. Today, we were noticed by DOT that there would be a meeting on a day and a time that we already have another meeting. I know Selectman Miller wanted to be informed of the traffic control plan meetings, which they told us today was going to be July 8th at 10 a.m. in the morning on Hazen Drive, but we've sent an email back to them telling them that we're already committed. We'd like to push that to the afternoon or another date, so as soon as we have confirmation on that, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I don't know how, did you get an email about that too? I did too.
I did too.
First time ever.
I forwarded it to you guys.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
So we've already got a pretty extensive meeting that morning that's going to take a couple hours to work through, so we're hoping they'll change the time. Otherwise, other representation would have to go, I guess. That's all I have for the board tonight, unless the board has any questions.
Anything, Mark?
So that Seabrook thing, are they pretty much requiring 2 people? It's not just a, hey, somebody come with me?
It's not a requirement, but I think they use the word strongly recommend.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay.
So it would be good to have somebody else come along. Deputy Lake's done them in the past, but someone other than him probably should come this time, just so we can broaden everybody's scope of knowledge and involvement.
I'm trying to understand a cram on my head here, trying to think of what the name of the plan is, the one where you go through all the mock hazard drills or whatever.
It's rep drills and
Well, we do it every 4 years, we do this manual, this book.
Yeah.
It's painful, what's the name of that?
hazard mitigation.
Was that ever part of that?
It's outlined in that, but because we're right on the fringe of the 50-mile radius, it's not really identified in our plan as a significant issue. What we would be involved in more likely is people from that area evacuating to this area.
Right.
And how do we plan for that and prepare for that and be equipped for that?
Gotcha. Is that something that gets added to hazardous mitigation later on, or like how does that?
I think that the way it's been addressed previously is part of the sheltering issue that we've got addressed, that we actually worked on the last few years to make our shelter plans a lot more substantial than what they were. But that's the extent of it at this time.
Gotcha, okay. Cool.
Some of the hazardous mitigation planning and brick building resilient infrastructure community stuff is kind of in flux because of the changes in the federal government. So right now there's not a great deal of money with that. And those programs are all changing. I did have one other thing I just remembered, when I said it, building resilient infrastructure community grant. Our lightning notification warning system has been installed at Staniels Road rec field and here at the recreational drive rec field behind us. There's signage that's been put up appropriately around both rec fields. The way the system works is if lightning is within a 10-mile radius of either location, there's a red strobe that will activate on the unit and start flashing, and there's a siren that will activate for 30 seconds. every 8 minutes after that there is lightning within a 10-mile radius of either field, the strobe will continuously flash, but the siren will resound for 30 seconds every 8 minutes until 30 minutes has gone by with no lightning within the 10-mile radius. So different athletic groups use different distances. Some use 8, some use 10. I would err on the further distance of safety. That's adjustable. We can change it if people want, but I did have the signage created at 10 to give people that additional warning. Lots of times there's youth. They may be down here just on a summer afternoon playing in the field. May take them a while to go find shelter, so giving them a little more notice seemed more appropriate. Those systems are only armed from 7 a.m. in the morning until 9 p.m. at night currently. And that's adjustable also if we want, but there's really not an event down here before 7 a.m. typically, and there's probably not a lot of reason to be out here after 9 o'clock at night, except for old home days.
So when it triggers it the first time, in 8 minutes, it'll go off again.
It'll go off
If
every 8
it
minutes.
starts, okay.
If
It won't
there's
stop.
lightning within that 10-mile radius.
And it won't stop until you hit 30 minutes of all clear.
Correct.
Okay.
And the other thing that we can do with this system, if there's coaches that want to be included, we can add them to the system so that they'll get a text message or an email as well. They can also have access to the weather system, which will show lightning approaching from 20 miles out, 12 miles out, 10 miles out. So it gives them more advanced warning, so they can actually get a text message if it's, once it crosses that 20-mile radius, they can start putting a plan together. So it's a pretty good system. I think we're pretty fortunate to get the grant money to do it. I wish we could have got some more money to locate them at other locations around town like the beach, but it's a good start.
I just wonder if the time setting, I think curfew is 10 p.m. here at the rec field on town property, isn't it?
I believe so,
I
yeah.
think it's 10 p.m., so I don't know if that matters or not.
Yeah, I mean, I can adjust it if you want. I was thinking 9 just because I was trying to be respectful of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good call.
yeah.
You know, the sun's usually down by 9, so I know we're putting new lights up, but other than the basketball court or the tennis court, I don't know. I don't know that I've seen too many people out there after 9 o'clock, but I can adjust it. It's simply just logging into the system and sliding a slide bar.
Cool. Heather, good?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, new business, I think we're good. We don't have any new business, correct? We have nothing? Old business, we talked about Hollow Road, Mudge Hill Road. I just want an update for that. School Street speed update. I think another complaint came in reference to speed.
Yeah, I mean, it is the second most road in town that we're stopping cars on. It's a focus of patrol. We're out there doing what we can with it.
Just as long as you're cognitive of it, that's
Yep.
all. I did have a question on the LS school student drop-off and pickup. I know you gave us an update, but what do you see coming forward with school starting is, what effort you're gonna do on educating the new parents coming and dropping kids off, picking them up? And also, how does this work with come winter time?
So come winter time, I was told by Fred that they can just put the snow somewhere else and the snow won't be an issue. The plan we had at the end of the year worked. There was no cars on School Street. It was an efficient program. The only critique I made to the principal is because most of the kids getting picked up are kindergarten and first grade. So I recommended to the principal that the first lane be strictly kindergarten, the second lane be first and second grade, and then the third lane be third, fourth, and fifth. And I think we'd even make things more efficient if we do it that way. But I think they're coming in this summer, they're gonna change the signage, they're gonna change the arrows and make it so everything supports going in that direction. You're always present, at least for the first morning and afternoon of school, and barring some kind of major emergency, I don't foresee that changing. And that's one of those things that, you know, prior to school beginning, They educate all the kindergarten parents. They come for a night before school starts. They take a demo bus ride. Some of the kids can go out on the bus and see what it's like to sit on a bus. And I think I'll just make sure I'm working well with the principal, that we're getting education out there, and seeing what the person in front of you does and following that is gonna work as well. But I think we're in a good space. I'll just make sure I'm in contact with Dave.
Cool. Yeah, just curious how it's gonna work, and I know you have new parents and new students and all that stuff each year, so just wondering what the
Yeah, no, I think
education would be.
I was out there with Fred Regan one day, who thought the idea was fantastic and that they should have gone to it a while ago. And he said that this summer they were going to come in and make sure the signage and everything was done. Because, I mean, technically this year people are still driving against the arrows. And that was my big ask is, can we either put black paint over the arrows or put in some new arrows so that, when somebody does look at the ground, they see that they're going the right direction instead of questioning it. And that I was told that that's going to get all done this summer. And they're going to make sure that they talk to whoever gets the plow contract of where they want the snow so that the road and the route stays
Good.
completely accessible.
So they're gonna make that like permanently backwards
Yep.
from what it currently is?
From what it was, yeah.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked well at the end of the year.
Right.
And even on high pickup days, I think the only thing we struggled with was early pickup, because people would come and get in line early, and then it's like, somebody shows up after there's already a line, like, where do I park till we get my kid? Because they blocked off that first parking lot there that they typically have teachers in.
Right.
So I know they were gonna work on that, but there's very few students that leave school early on a daily basis. And, it worked with the buses, it worked with all the rest of the cars, so.
Good.
Good.
All right,
Anything else? Good.
good.
Good. All right. Well, I have to throw myself on a sword here a little bit, so I'm going to throw myself on the sword as far as an LYAA status update. Now, I seem to be probably the most vocal about this issue on the board currently, and I just try to keep myself within the lines and in the red where I need to be as far as the board goes. I try to run things by, of course, the other board members to make sure we are walking that fine line and not overstepping our boundaries, because the last thing I want to do is I'm not here to manage anybody. I'm not here to dictate what happens and just give out orders. I'm here to work problems out and solve problems. So the LYAA status update as far as the Board of Selectmen goes, we've talked at length a couple different times, and we have whatever we do currently right now as far as this program goes, it's based on player safety and field conditions as far as safety goes. That's where our line goes. And I might have overspoke a couple times, and I'm starting to get emails, which I'm wide open on emails. Please send emails if you have an issue or whatever the case may be. But the more I think about this and the more I get guidance, is I don't want to overstep our boundaries and do things that we don't have the right to do and or the authority to do and or whatever else. But I can tell you that my interest is, and I think it's equal across this table as well as this person who's not here today, we're all on the same page. And I would not give any kind of effort towards anything if we weren't on the same page. I believe this is a board of three, not one. And whatever action I take or Mark takes or Jeff takes, it's because we all agree on the issue. We all agree to move forward with it. So, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. But the status right now, my main concern with LYAA and the status update is strictly for safety of the kids, the field conditions, and making sure that other communities, our kids aren't getting hurt, other communities coming here to play ball aren't getting hurt, and because of something we neglected to take care of, if that all makes sense. It's my understanding there's a problem with the program itself. It's my understanding that we're not getting responses back the way we thought we would. We have reached out via email and via phone. So I can tell you that we're working on those end of things as far as getting the safety thing taken care of. And I understand other people's issues and like they're sending emails as well and getting negative responses back, either no responses or not the response they're looking for. So I am compassionate to that. I understand this program is probably in need of some assistance one way or the other, but I just want to make sure I clear the air publicly, both on YouTube and in this meeting and recording, that I don't want to overstep my bounds. I feel like I'm close to overstepping our bounds, and I really want to just emphasize the fact that the safety issue is first and foremost. I'm willing to help anybody get this program up and running again. I'm willing to help anybody get to volunteers. I don't want to run it. I don't want to be a volunteer, but I can tell you I can help get people to jump in these positions and get this off the ground. I do think it's a reflection of Loudon if this program falls short, because I think it's, no matter what, these parents move into town and they have young kids and they want their kids to play ball and they want their kids to play soccer. They don't know the difference between LYA and the town of Loudon. They just don't know the difference. So it's always going to be the town of Loudon, and I just don't want anybody to say, oh, we're going to play Loudon and they have unsafe fields, or they have crappy fields, or they don't have a great program. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that conversation to even become up. So that is a separate interest of mine, but as far as the board goes, that's kind of like where we're directing our efforts, is towards the safety and the things. And again, I'm open. I mean, I'm not saying don't send me emails. Send me emails. That's fine. I'll read them. I'll respond to you. I'll call you. Not a problem. I'm not trying to avoid anybody, but I just want to make sure that we as a board stay on our side of the line and not overstep it. So I just felt like I had to put that out there. So that's probably what I got. Now, since I just talked about that, I'm gonna move public comment up before important dates, because I know probably there's some people that want to talk about that, if maybe not. So I'll open up for public comment now.
So, I know where you stand as far as involvement with LYAA, but,
Name and address?
sorry. Colette Conway, 161 Bear Hill Road. Okay, so I did pull the state registration information. I have reached out to board members. I do have the original bylaws. I used to be part of LYA for a good 10 years or more, which seems like decades ago. So there could have been some changes. However, there probably isn't any need for any major changes. And I do feel the town or selectmen have to get involved, because we are allocating town money to an organization where there is no accountability. So just from my perspective in old school LYAA, there is the state registered list of participants. We have Brianne Mullen, who is the president, Brad Gray, who is the vice president, Lisa Crossman is secretary, Lori Orsini is the treasurer, Clint Mercer is a soccer director, Becky Herman is softball. Becky and Clint have been removed from the board, have not been invited to a meeting in years. Brad Gray I have not been able to get a hold of. Brianne Mullen will not respond to emails, phone calls, text messages, nothing. Lisa Crossman, I believe, is her sister, and Lori Orsini, which lives at the same address as Brianne Mullen, is the treasurer. The bylaws do not allow family members to be on the board for treasurer and president or any of those upper level positions, because there is no checks and balances to make sure that we are verifying the funds are being properly spent. Remember, they're taxpayer dollars. They're supposed to hold a monthly meeting depending on the height of the season. They could be bi-weekly or weekly. There has not been a meeting in years. It is volunteer run. It's not individually owned. There should be, now I count on here 6 members, 3 of which I believe are no longer a part of it. The other 3 that are running it are family. I have reached out to volunteer to help get it back on track. I didn't think I'd ever volunteer to do that again, but this is a phenomenal program. My kids went through it. My grandkids are now going through it. I would dedicate the time to help get volunteers on to make sure that the fields are up and running. I mean, I don't want to run it, but I'd certainly help get it to where it needs to be and the volunteers in place. You cannot do that because there was no meetings. On top of that, I mean, if you're not holding public meetings like you're required, people can't volunteer, people can't show up, there's no accountability, There's no accountability for funds being spent that are town tax dollars. I'm at a loss.
Yep, so it's my understanding that it's my understanding that receipts and expenditures have been dropped off at the town office, so I think that's still currently being reviewed. As far as the money goes in the future or whatever, it's town money. If the town vote, we put it in the budget, and if the town votes and say, yeah, let's give the recreation department or LYA $5,000, then that's what we do, right? So, and that's not a guarantee every year. I mean, everybody suffered cuts this past year with the way things are going, so it's not a guarantee every year, and that's the decision the town will have to make at some point, right?
Right.
So now for us to say, no, you can't have $5,000, it's gonna be up to the town to say you can't have 5,000, and I'm sure someone will stand up and explain why they shouldn't have 5,000 or what the problem is. So, I'm not trying to get around that. I understand that there's a financial obligation, but it's not guaranteed an obligation.
Right.
And I do know that if you register with the state, and I'm assuming it's either with the AG's office or the Secretary of State, that there are loopholes you can go through to pretty much say, hey, listen, this program's not being run, this is a problem, this is how things are going. I just don't know, again, I've walked up to the line and I don't know where we cross, and obviously I would have to talk to the other board members and probably do a little more research as far as attorneys go, but I don't want to cross that line, and I'm not afraid to cross the line if I'm good to go. I just don't want to put us in a situation where we can't help anybody because we crossed the line.
Correct, and I agree, but we now have a split. So we have LYAA and LYAA, both different names.
Right.
It's very confusing for kids. I've reached out to the other individual who has started up a separate program under the LYA Association, and trying to pull him back in the fold. I mean, we shouldn't have multiple organizations for town volunteer sports. I mean, it's very confusing, it's very difficult. You see people constantly on Facebook not understanding where they're signing up,
Right.
Where their funds are going. Sponsorships, I've heard that some of our main sponsorships are considering not sponsoring anymore due to not knowing where their funds are going. So it's difficult because there are bylaws that nobody can get their hands on for this organization. They are required to have public meetings and take volunteers. And there's 6 on here, 3 of which have said they haven't been involved in years. And then from what I remember, now ICB could have changed things a little bit with basketball and cheerleading, but we had a board of 11 or 12 people at all times. It takes an army to run these sports. And from what I understand, it's one individual. Not knocking them. It's a lot of work. She has got to be pulling her hair out of her head. So why we don't take volunteers, why we're not having public meetings, is just blowing my mind.
And I think there's rules and regulations somewhere with, like, as far as 501c3s go. I think there's a whole plethora of rules you gotta follow and how to report and when to report. There's no doubt in my mind there's something out there. I don't know if we don't have, I know this board doesn't have the authority to enforce anything on that, so
Right.
someone would have to figure out where that authority lies and how to get a hold of those people and start the process. So again, I'm not trying to deter anybody, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, again, we're on that line, and if I cross it and I'm in the wrong area, it's not where I want to be.
Well, I'm digging in, not going away.
And I wouldn't expect you would,
I will call a meeting if I have to and get the former board members to show up and townspeople that want to help and volunteer, and we will vote people in. I mean, I have the original bylaws, we can go by that. I have the tax ID number, we can go by that. Unfortunately, we won't have any records to sponsorships, former signups, monies, accounts, online logins for, electronic signups. We won't have any of that. But
and I think you and I talked about that, and I think at some point in time, we probably won't have that.
Right.
And we're just gonna have to rebuild the castle.
old school.
Right.
I mean, if you start from scratch, we
Right.
start from scratch. I
So-
just want to make sure the program is not faltering. I mean, we used to have, when I ran it, we had like 500 kids I'd send mailers out to. That's a lot of kids.
Yep.
I don't know what the numbers are now, but I don't even think they're close. And a lot of people are just dropping because they're not having a good experience. Coaches don't sign up, and when they do, they show up, and like last year, I did kindergarten for my granddaughter's team because they didn't have any coaches. Luckily, that day, we had enough coaches. I showed up, no one knew what they were doing. So luckily, I can say, okay, so this is how we used to run it. I don't know what they do now,
Right.
but it ran pretty smoothly.
Right.
But there's just no communication with anybody. So,
Well, I think we all can work towards a better program, so,
all righty.
thank you.
Thank you.
Can I speak on the LYA stuff too?
Yeah, you're a resident.
Dana Flanders, Old Shaker Road.
Number?
I was 40. I've been involved as a coach as well for my daughter's teams. And I know Brianne works very hard in the program, and it's a lot to bring it all together. But as a coach, you may have a game at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and at 8:30 you're getting like a mass text message of the team you're playing. And it's a hassle sometimes to get the equipment so you can start your practice and figure out practice schedules and stuff. So I'm not by any means trying to come into public and knock Brianne, but I have seen the disorganization from the program as a volunteer coach trying to do both t-ball and soccer, and I gotta say I agree with Colette.
Any other comment?
I'm sorry, one more thing. I apologize. Colette Conway, you thought it was gonna be a quick meeting, didn't you? Colette Conway, 161 Bear Hill Road. The other thing too, I would recommend that our recreation person, I believe, is very willing to help. She should be required to have a spot on the LYA board at all times, whoever holds that position. Because honestly, they're scheduling phenomenal stuff. So I just took a picture of the bottom of that to send it to my daughter-in-law and the grandkids. Like, phenomenal programs down here. They should not have to be overlap or second guessing whether they can hold anything down here, whether it's on or off season with sporting. That's all.
Yeah, and I don't know where scheduling went array. I think at one point in time, Loudon, the town of Loudon handled through the rec committee, correct? They handled scheduling, and then it
No.
was awarded over to,
LYA
always
just
been
kind of
LYA,
did it.
yeah.
And when it was off season, rec would just do whatever, because I used to be on the rec for the town too.
Sure.
I got sucked right into everything at one time. So, yeah, I mean, it just kind of, hopefully it doesn't overlap. There's just no communication. And I'm not saying now, I'm saying always hasn't been a lot of communication with what's going on with rec. But we never did as much as we do now, so.
Yep. I think it's just time to have a sit-down, is what I really think it's time for, just to sit down and have a discussion.
So what happens if we can't make that happen?
They don't know the answer.
Okay.
Anyone else? That's it? Roger, nothing?
Yeah, you. No, I don't.
Name and address, sir?
Yeah, Roger. They say the LYA is one of, what, C3?
12, should be 12 seats of volunteers.
It's a 501c3.
501c3. So isn't the Historical Society, and we have to file a annual income tax every year, whether we get any money or not. I just wonder if they do, they may.
They're
Point that
actually
out.
listed as a C7, and they don't have to register with, we talked to the charitable trust unit, and they said that
They're a
Because they're
C7 versus
C7,
a 3
with the
C3.
IRS, they are not required to register with them.
Thank you.
I don't know anything about that, other than we made the phone call, and that's what they
We're a
said.
C3.
Yeah,
So we have-
C7, they said.
So that was charitable trust you talked to?
If you
Correct.
don't file for 3 years in a row, you lose your
Yeah.
nonprofit.
Which I believe it's up again this year.
What's that?
It's up again for renewal this year.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Nothing?
Donna LeClaire, 135 Lovejoy Road. I don't know if this matters or helps or anything. It was registered as a 501c3. It was allowed to lapse in 2014, so that would have started in 2011, not being filed. So it did lapse with the IRS. It was changed at some point to a 501c7, which is a membership organization. So I'm not really sure about that. Then I had a question about town money going to a membership organization versus, but whatever, just telling you what I know.
Yeah, I don't know where the money started from, way back when, I guess. It's just, I think it's been how many years as the town,
Something that I've been here.
yeah. I don't know where that started, or,
I know she was in, or it was in bad standing with the Secretary of State's, but then there was some confusion, at least on my end, whether they had to file that or with the Attorney General Charitable Trust Division. But they weren't in good standing in either one.
Right.
So
okay.
that's what I,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll close public comment, jump into important dates. July 9th, Touch a Truck, 6 PM, Rec Field. July 16th, Ice Cream and Wagon Ride, 6 PM, Rec Field. July 17th, CIP meeting, 8 AM. You're going to that, right? July 17th, Planning Board meeting, 7 PM. You're going to that, right? Just kidding. July 23rd,
Sure.
Freeze Brothers Big Band, 6:30 PM, Rec Field. July 24th, Zoning Board meeting, 7 PM. July 30th, Wildlife Encounters, 6 PM, Rec Field. August 5th, National Night Out, 5 to 8, Rec Field. All right. You want to,
I'm going to make a motion to enter a non-public.
yep.
Okay.
Chief, you still need non-public?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will make a motion to enter a non-public session at 6:46 PM. Per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2B, the hiring of any person as a public employee.
Okay, motion made to go non-public at 6:46 PM. I will second that motion. Any discussion? Okay, I think we need a roll call vote. Selectman Griffin?
Yes.
Selectman Gilman? Yes. We are in non-public. Wait, pictures back, buddy?
Yes, thank you, guys.
Nice work.